Hi guys, this is my first YouTube video. Welcome to the bookcase, where I kind of will tell you what the plan of the YouTube channel, or the main reason why I started this YouTube channel was. And it kind of started back in 2025 where I live in the Czech Republic. And the system here, the schooling system, is very different from the rest of the world. I realized talking to people from other parts of the world. And basically, to graduate high school, because I'm a junior, I'm going into my senior year in September. To graduate high school, you need to read 20 books. Yes, you heard me right, 20 books. Out of 97 books that your teachers, all the teachers of the school that teach literature come together and they set a list of 97 books that they think are important for our generation to read. I personally love this because I love reading.
You are such a nerd.
But a lot of my classmates really hate reading, or they don't read in general.
What? No way!
So my thought was, why not start a YouTube channel where I would explain interesting facts about authors that would maybe make them more human to people my age, because I'm 18. And I think it'll help a lot, because I think when we're in school, instead of teachers being like, hey, let's read this book together, this is why I think it's important, teachers kind of just like push it on you. They force you to read stuff, which I understand can be very uncomfortable and not the best if you didn't really grow up reading. Although I think a lot of parents really try their best for their child to be not avid readers, but readers at best. But I realize not a lot of people like to read. So I was going to talk about that, and that's the main goal of my YouTube channel, just to have like interesting facts about authors, books I've read, books I will read. I have a very long TBR list. So it has like 60 books on it. I'm not going to read it all probably this year. It's kind of late. It's July, end of July. School starts in September. So the main point of this as well was to make reading more fun to me, if I can share it with others, people that also like to read. Because I'm sure I'm not the only person that's obsessed with reading.
But that's why we gotta stick together!
As much as, yeah. So these are the books that are on my physical TBR. I'll start with a mix of books that I have to read, like the 20 books that I have chosen, and books that I want to read at my leisure, books that are interesting to me that I want to read, that it's not a part of school. But some of the books actually that are a part of school, I personally would also like to read. So this is a leisure book that I just started, actually. It's The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne. My friend, she's such a good friend for being patient with me. Since we were in 5th grade, she's been recommending Susan Collins' The Hunger Games to me. And I've always been putting it off, because I don't know if I'm the only person that's like this, but I just like reading a book because I want to read it. I don't like it when people are like, you have to read it, you have to read it. As soon as someone says you have to read this book, or you have to watch this movie as well, like for me, it's off the list, like completely. So this is really good. I read all 3 books in a span of like 3 months. That's how good it is. Like, Suzanne Collins, thank you so much. The series is amazing, especially the world we live in now. I think it resonates more than maybe it did back then when she wrote it in 2012. I think it was before that. But it resonates a lot with what's going on in the world right now, and how somehow you can see how like things are going on in the US. Like, you see Coachella and the Oscars and Met Gala and stuff, and then on the other side you see the polar opposite of people not even having food to eat, and how it clashes that you're a person that's in the middle and you're seeing both sides of this, and you're like, but what are we doing about it? Nothing. So I think her books are very important. I'm now reading the prequel, the first prequel, because Sunrise on the Reaping also came out like a year ago, I think. My friend got me this book. Not the same friend, another friend. But it's a special, it's Sprayed Edges. It's my first book that has sprayed edges, and I love it. It's really interesting. I am 1/3, less than 1/3 into the book. I don't know if you can see it. It's really good. It's just that when I read a really good series, I end up being in like a reading slump. And I think now I'm in a reading slump because I haven't picked it up in like weeks. But it is really good. Like, I would say it's really good. And I think the story has just started like unraveling. But she always surprises us, Suzanne. She's a really good author. The next book on my physical TBR is a William Shakespeare book. This book is actually for school. It's The Taming of the Shrew. I wanted to see a play, but I thought, why not just read it? Most of the time, plays are like the easiest thing to read because it's a storyline that just goes, ebbs and flows, and you can see which character is talking. It does have a plot, but you kind of get into it. I don't know. The first time I read a play was, the first play I think I ever read was My Fair Lady. No, what is it called? The first play I ever read was Pygmalion by George Shaw, and I liked it. I watched the musical before then, the one with Audrey Hepburn with my mom, and it was so good. I really liked it. Then I read the play and I was like, the ending is completely different. The character dynamic is also a little bit different, but it's still good. It was a pretty good play. I liked it. Yeah, so this is another play. It's, I think, my first Shakespeare play that I'm reading. Actually, it's my first Shakespeare book, novel, play ever, sonnet ever, because the English is a bit hard to understand, and reading it in Czech is somewhat even worse. So yeah, but I think I'll have to get into it because I've only read 7 of the 20 books that I'm going to graduate from, so I have to chop. Time is, for those wondering why I'm kind of in a rush, we graduate next May, and I still have to study for other subjects that I'm graduating from, so that's why I'm kind of in a rush to read. So the next book, I just picked this one up from the library like yesterday, but it's Mythos by Stephen Fry. Stephen Fry is good at, he's a comedian. I did not know that. I have to watch some of his comedic stuff, but it's pretty cool. And I haven't started it yet, but I love Greek mythology. Love it so much. But yeah, I thought the Odyssey was gonna be in here. I'm not sure if it is. So I'll let you know, I guess. But this is basically a manual guide to the world of Greek mythology. He explains everything in here. So I'm really excited to get into it because I am a fan of Greek mythology, but I don't know much. I know the Odyssey story kind of. I'm not good with the names. I know certain stories, and I know some certain interesting facts, and I know some of the gods, but I'm not into it, like, you know how some people can literally recite every single thing. I'm not that kind of a person, so I would like to know a lot more because it is interesting. And funnily enough, my mom is watching Family Feud in the other room, if that's what you're hearing. Interesting fact about me is that, well, not me, I think everyone has this problem, that Greek mythology has like a chokehold on society, where people love Greek mythology, but they kind of forget the fact that there's other types of mythology. Like, every country has their own mythological stories, which is so cool. And I want to get into like Nordic mythology, like Thor, god of thunder, Odin, his dad, Loki, the trickster god.
I am Loki of Asgard.
I'm Diana of New Jersey.
You know, there's so many. So I want to get into that, but maybe after I graduate, I'll probably make more videos about it. And this book you've probably never heard of because it's a Czech author, but I think he is like really important to society, and I would recommend this to even English speakers. Even if you don't have to read it, I would really recommend this author. He has 2 plays that I bought. These are also for graduation, by the way. I'll get the second one. So the first book that I read, well, play, was this one, Ballad. And it's just like, when you read it, it's like the epitome of what happened during COVID, and in general how politics also plays into healthcare, and the fact that when there's a global epidemic that's killing people, power is more important than people's lives. And this book is so I keep saying book, it's a play. This play is so good, and I would recommend it. It's called White Epidemic. I'll link it in the description below. I'll link all of these books actually. But in Czech, it's Bila Nemoc Karel Capek. It's so good. Like, it's short. It's like 100 pages, but it's so good. The ending is, I don't want to spoil it, but the ending is kind of sad. And it just shows how someone is willing to risk the lives of millions of people just because of power. And we saw that during COVID. I don't want to name names, but during COVID, especially in the US, where it was more of a political game and less about the fact that people were dying. And so the book is actually interesting. It's about Adolf Hitler. It's like a metaphor for how power is above people's lives. So the general in the book is Adolf Hitler, and the author was actually going to get arrested by the Gestapo for writing this play, but unfortunately fortunately and unfortunately he passed away before they could arrest him. And so it's so interesting. It's just it's such a good he was such a good he was a good author, and his books I think affect us even today. His second book, this one, is called R.U.R. And I was astounded when I found out that like a little, well, not little Czech author in the Czech Republic, he's very famous, but like I guess compared to the world's global scale, he was a pretty little like small author. And it's amazing because it's about, I think it reminds me of AI. I always, when I read a book, I try to compare it to how we're living now, especially if it was written in the 1900s, which this was 1920s. So it's more than 100 years old now. And it's interesting because it's about how this company, Ross manufacturing company, builds robots. And the robots look like humans. And it's the first, the word robot was coined from this play, which is amazing. And basically it's about, sorry, not Ross, Rossum's Universal Robots, R.U.R, Rossum's Universal Robots. Yeah, so it's basically about this company, and they start making robots. And I found really interesting that the guy that started this whole thing of making humans was trying to like dethrone God, which is, I don't, unbelievers and believers, it's amazing. And I haven't finished it yet. I'm like halfway. And basically the president's daughter goes over to this manufacturing company and starts saying that the robots have rights and stuff, which they don't have a conscience, they don't have a mind, but the way robots progress and then they end up revolting against the human race is so close to what's happening with AI and how it's kind of becoming uncontrollable. And even when you go on social media and you want to see artists that are humans that show their own work, all you see is AI. So I think I'll really enjoy this book. I've been putting it off. I read like half of it and then I was like, I kind of already know what's gonna happen because it is a play. Obviously the robots are gonna take over because they're not treating them very well. But yeah. I think that's my current physical TBR list for now. And I have a digital TBR that's on my phone that I will now discuss.